Welcome to The Project. Tonight, it's Instagram versus the environment, how picture-perfect selfies are killing our natural wonders.
Also, we cross to the pub where punters have been snowed in for 3 days. We'll see how they're holding up.
Comedy favourite Akmal is here to put a laugh in Back to Work Monday.
And find out which Aussie get-up has been dubbed the sexiest outfit a man can wear. And if it's not the mankini, then I'm going to have to return that Christmas gift, Sarah Harris. I'm sorry.
Devastating. We're live from the lands of the Cooler Nation. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year for 2025. Joining us tonight is broadcaster and Broad Radio founder, Joe Stanley. Happy New Year, even though we're 6 days in.
Absolutely. I think I will be doing that till at least the end of January.
Yeah, you've got time.
I think you're allowed.
For sure.
Yeah.
As long as the ham lasts, that's as long as
Oh my God, my ham is still lasting.
I've also got some prawns from Christmas Day if you can.
Totally different. Let's check today's top news stories now. And Anthony Albanese is not wasting any time drumming up support ahead of this year's election. He's launched a campaign push today, starting in Queensland, adding to speculation of an early poll. The PM's first promise, $7.2 billion to help fix the notoriously dangerous Bruce Highway.
It's a dangerous piece of highway and it needs upgrading.
We are backing the Bruce with billions of dollars in new investment.
My goodness, going out this early, straight after Christmas, this would have to be a first, I reckon.
Oh, you saw Jackie Lambie there. We will be talking to her later on in the show as well about a potential football stadium in Tasmania. But to other news, and 2 boaties have died after their vessel capsized off Point Connor near Beachport on South Australia's southeast coast. Aged 82 and 69, the men were found unresponsive on the shore. Police were unable to revive them. A 59-year-old woman who was also found unresponsive has been taken to hospital. All 3 were from the nearby town of Millicent.
In other news, police are on the hunt for doll nappers who stole 150 vintage Barbies from a home at Tatura near Shepparton in Victoria. They were taken last month along with some Elvis memorabilia while the owners were away on holidays, worth about 15 grand. The Barbies were all in their original boxes, some dating back to the 1970s.
It's awful to come home to your home and find it's been invaded and someone's been inside, gone through your property. But this collection, as I mentioned, are almost impossible to replace. And to have these Barbie dolls doll napped is horrifying.
He wanted to make sure he got it right.
Absolutely.
Doll nap.
Loved saying that. He loved it. He loved it.
And the Aussie cricket team is now looking ahead to the World Test Championship after regaining the Border Gavaskar Trophy. It's back in Aussie hands for the first time in a decade after the home side took the series against India 3-1 with a 6-wicket win in Sydney yesterday. Debutant Sam Constance has emerged as a real star, but some think his time at the top may be short-lived.
He's a slogger. He's a dead set slogger. He's got to change. If he's going to survive in Test cricket, you can't be worrying about your strike rate in Test cricket. You can't play by the numbers. You've got to go out there and bat correctly.
Now, Rodney Hogg, you've got spirit of cricket there. That is not in the spirit of cricket.
No.
We should be backing Constance.
He went the whole hog, didn't he?
Did.
What's wrong with being a slogger?
Well, to be fair, I would have liked him to make slightly more runs in this Test match, I think that's to come. That's to come.
But you
He'll
know
learn
what,
that
Sonny?
discipline.
He doesn't play that way at first class level.
No.
Like he just did it. I think he got excited with how he treated Bumrah in
Yes.
that 4th Test, and he just went crazy with it. And I was all for it, by the way.
Yeah, but now, because of that and because of that confidence, I think it just goes to show this rivalry that Australia now has with India.
It's
I
awesome.
think that it is level, if not more, than our rivalry with the UK now and the Brits.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, look, it's
I
close.
love it. I love watching India play Australia now.
Oh, it's so amazing.
It's
and
amazing.
you saw in the crowds in Melbourne and then Sydney. It's amazing. It's like everyone always talked about the demise of Test cricket, but it's like we just saw that. It's like popping in this country. People love
we
it.
had a 5-day test in Melbourne. Go down to the wire.
Huge.
And we get to see
Amazing.
the best players.
You guys
everywhere.
love cricket?
Love
right?
it. Love it so much.
We're always talking about the demise of Test cricket.
We've already
Always.
done this.
Yeah.
That's so,
There's a clear divide in the middle of the
I
desk
do know that
right
you
here.
love the women's cricket team, and the Ashes is coming up for them.
90 years of Australian women's Ashes. Celebrating in Australia this year in February. Can't wait.
Unbelievable. Now, the Golden Globes, they've just wrapped up over in LA. So here are the star-studded winners, the losers, and everyone else who managed to grab a bit of screen time.
Welcome to the 82nd Golden Globes.
It's one of Hollywood's biggest award ceremonies, also known as
Ozempic's biggest night.
Comedian Nikki Glazer making history, not just as the first woman to host the awards solo, but also as the first in years to land a few jokes.
I did not know much about Wicked going into this year because I had friends in high school.
There were near stumbles.
Almost
tripped up. You nearly saw my Golden Globes then. Sassy speeches.
No one to thank on this one. I did it all by myself.
And one of Elton John's first public appearances since his severe eye infection that led to vision loss.
But it's not as bad as it seems, so I'm so pleased to be here with my co-host, Rihanna.
Then there were the awards, handed out for the best of the big and small screen.
The bear, the penguin, baby reindeer. These are not just things found in RFK's freezer. These are TV shows nominated tonight.
The Aussies saw a string of snubs this year. Cate Blanchett and Naomi Watts going head-to-head for Best Female Actor in a Limited Series, but ultimately losing out.
The Golden Globe goes to Jodie Foster.
Even Nicole Kidman couldn't bring it home for Australia with her 17th Golden Globe nomination for erotic thriller Baby Girl.
Thank you to Keith Urban for playing guitar around the house so much that she wants to leave and make 18 movies a year.
But Adrian Brody had better luck winning a tight race with Timothée Chalamet for Best Actor and dedicating the award to his dad.
Dad, you are the foundation of this family, and all this love that I receive flows back to you.
Musical extravaganza Wicked clinched the new award on the block for box office achievement.
In a time when pessimism and cynicism sort of rule the planet right now, that we can still make art that is a radical act of optimism.
But the big winner of the night was musical thriller Emilia Perez, topping the tally with 4 wins, including Best Picture, Musical or Comedy, and Best Supporting Actress.
Thank you, merci beaucoup, Jacques Audiard. Thank you so much for trusting me to play Rita.
And that's a wrap on this year's Globes. See you at the Emmys.
Well, here to unpack it all with us is Hollywood guru Hyla. Hey, Hyla, hosting the Golden Globes is a pretty tough gig. What did you make of Nikki Glaser?
Listen, all these award shows, the host has the hardest job in Hollywood because you got idiots like me who don't have the talent to host an award show ready to criticize them. With that said, I think Nikki, she did fine. I thought she would be a little more edgier, kind of in a Ricky Gervais vibe because she does a lot of roasts. But listen, a Stanley Tucci Diddy freak off with olive oil joke made me laugh. So yeah, I think she did great tonight.
But Hyla, was she as much of a standout as Jeremy Strong's bucket hat?
Come on, okay. So why don't we appreciate someone just going full send on the red carpet? What else do you expect from this guy? Jeremy Strong is weird. We want his outfits to be weird. He gets the Golden Globe for weird red carpet outfit.
Yes. Well, we were all backing Wicked. We love it so much, but it didn't do as well as expected. It did get that weird box office award, whatever that means. But could this signal a difficult awards season ahead for Wicked?
Absolutely. I mean, it's sort of the curse of being big at the box office, which means you're going to be really small at the award shows. So it doesn't surprise me that, it won this sort of made up new category of the last couple of years. But you're going to be really sick of Adrian Brody and the Brutalists going through award season. That's my prediction.
But of course, the big winner was Emilia Perez. None of us have seen it. We understand it's a Spanish language, French musical crime comedy, which is it's so niche.
Classic genre.
Yeah. But have you seen this?
It's got a little bit for everybody. It's kind of like the menu at the Sizzler. You have the lobster platter. You have the fettuccine Alfredo. You have mac and cheese for the kids. The hibachi chicken, country fried steak. You got it all, but. I don't, I really want to give some love to Zoe Saldana, who had an amazing speech. This is my co-star. As of course you guys remember, we shared the screen in the 2009 Star Trek reboot. So I'm so excited for my co-star Zoe Saldana to bring home her first big award.
Oh my God! What? Why didn't you win?
Go on with the tricky
you should
hands.
win.
Okay, the fact that you guys don't remember the back of my head when Spock and Kirk were running through the Enterprise just as Vulcan was about to get destroyed by Nia, that tells me you guys get the Golden Globe for disappointment. That's what you guys get.
Still a win.
Yeah, we won.
Still a win.
Take that, Nicole Kidman.
Hyla, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks. Good night.
Once I saw the back of his, I got it. Once I saw it there, I knew. Yeah. Guys, let's stay with the Golden Globes because reporters love a red carpet scoop.
Yes.
But poor old Sunrise, they were there. It seems they were a bit less prepared than the rest.
We're right at the top here, and we're not next to E, the major entertainment network. They're on the other side. So I think they have all of their interviews pre-organised, but I'm going to be screaming as loud as I can. I was thinking about bringing a little Aussie flag, but I actually couldn't find one in LA.
Oh, it's a pretty sad story. What I would do, just wave some Ozempic around. The celebrities will come running.
They'll find it.
They will.
For a break. We'll see you very soon.
Welcome back. This is The Project.
Time now to see what's making news around the world.
There's been fierce frontline fighting after Ukraine launched a fresh offensive in Russia's Kursk region. It comes after a Ukrainian missile attack last week badly damaged a Russian military command post. Both sides claim they've inflicted significant losses in recent days as they seek to strengthen their position before Donald Trump returns to the White House. Beijing has downplayed a surge in cases of the respiratory virus HMPV as an annual winter occurrence. But infections are spiking across the country's northern provinces, and health authorities have put emergency measures in place to monitor the spread. It comes 5 years after the world was first alerted to COVID-19. And more than 60 million Americans are shivering through a huge winter storm that's lashing communities from the Midwest to the East Coast. It's forecast to deliver the coldest temperatures in a decade. Roads are closed and thousands of flights have been cancelled. This avalanche in Utah caused by the extreme snowfall. Similar wintry conditions have also hit Europe and the UK, causing travel chaos.
On those conditions, at Britain's highest pub, the Tan Hill Inn, guests are waking up to a third day of being snowed in. David Rao works there. He joins us now. David, it's day 3. First off, tell me what is it smelling like?
At the moment, it smells like beer and fire.
That smells pretty good.
Yeah. Are you getting claustrophobic?
No, a little bit insane maybe, but not claustrophobic, no.
Well, let's talk about that insanity, because if you're getting a bit insane, what about the rest of the guests? Have we had any arguments from between your patrons?
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Everyone's been perfectly behaved.
They've been very well behaved. Very well behaved.
I hear there's a few Australians in there. That could change things pretty quick.
behaved?
How are the Australians doing?
It could change things pretty quick, yeah. With the amount of Malbec and whiskey they've been drinking, I think there'll be a few sore heads this morning.
Well, what about the sleeping arrangements? Because I know in the past guests got to sleep on the pub's lounge floor. So have conditions improved since the 2021 lock-in, or perhaps actually snuggling down on the lounge floor is a bit of fun?
They have improved a bit. We can sleep up to 42 people here now.
Oh.
But there's nobody sleeping on the floor this time.
Hey, is there any chance, David, while we've got you, if you can wake up those Aussies? I mean, where they're from, it never snows. The top end, I think they're from Catherine.
Yeah.
It's pretty bloody hot there. Tell them Australian TV wants to talk to them. What else have they got to do?
I hope he's not drinking more whiskey. But,
go on.
I can try and give him a knock if you want.
Yeah, go on. Go on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tell them their families want to say hi.
Yeah.
Back home. They want to check in on them.
Hey,
see how the snowman building is going.
It's me, Dad.
I haven't seen you it's been an age.
It's been an age.
I'm aging backwards.
You said you were going for a European summer. That was 7 years ago. Come back home.
It's nice to meet
The
like this.
family here in Catherine miss you so much. You said milk and cigarettes. And now I hear you're in a pub in Tan Hill.
Hey, and
David, how'd you go?
No luck, unfortunately.
Tell them they're weak.
Tell Mum and Dad that I miss them a lot, OK? Just pass on that message from the
Hang on,
family.
David, what was their excuse?
Just no answer on the door, unfortunately.
Yeah, right.
Well, they're Australians. They'd be
They're
drunk.
too busy building snowmen, if you know what I mean. Hey, David, thanks so much for your time.
No problem.
Sarah Harris.
They're having fun.
They're having fun. They're having
We've got to go to a break. Clean fun. This is The Project.
Guys, now when the project goes on break, sport keeps going. I'm not sure if you know this. And what a time it has been, guys. Bangers, balls, boxes, slams, slots, hits, holes, heroes. And that was just the Taunton family cricket match. Anyway, for the first time in 2025, let's do it!
Yeah!
We've the Test cricket because the mighty Aussies have beaten India to regain the series, but all anyone wants to talk about is my boy, 19-year-old young gun Sam Constance, for playing shots like this. Look at this.
Whoa!
Bang, reverse sweep. Beautiful. It's actually similar to the shot I played off Mum's bowling on Christmas Day. You're going to bowl pies, Mum? I'm going to hit him over the fence. Other highlights from the 5th Test included, I love this, ground staff finding more than a lost ball in the side screen after pan 6.
Okay.
So this guy, he works there. He's going to look for the ball. He gets the ladder out.
Oh, yeah.
Very smart. He's
Where
looking for the
is it?
ball. Has he got it? What's that? I tell you what, good to see Pricey enjoying his summer break. Indian legend Virat Kohli showed off his mime skills. I like that, to troll the Aussies. Do you guys remember that sandpaper thing? I kind of don't, but whatever.
Yeah.
Happening to people.
Oh, yeah, here we
Hands
go.
in the pocket. Oh, boo, dude, boo. That, by the way, that was also a flawless impression of Sam Taunton when it's his turn to buy a round. Yeah, no, that's too real, Sarah. Commentator Kerry Skull O'Keefe, the great man, turned into a supervillain, laughing at his own joke.
Bumrah has back spasms. I think he'll be good to go. They will needle him up. I would think when he walks out, he will hand his cap to the umpire and 3 syringes.
I mean, that's either Kerry O'Keefe or Dr. Evil has aged terribly. Let's go to the A-League. Western United's Jordan Lawton scored. This is one of the best last-second winners you'll ever see. Look at this.
One last hurrah.
Look at this. Boom. And what a bicycle kick that is to win. Unbelievable. Absolutely. Now, that was an amazing kick. This effort from English third-tier coach Gary Bauer really wasn't.
This is Bennett now.
Okay.
Going to go back to the advantage. Well, it was a long advantage.
Beautiful. Look at him go down here. The coach. It's beautiful. Now, would have heard, but I'll tell you who loved it. Yeah. My man, he's back to the NBA, where Celtics champ Drew Holiday didn't let this accidental innuendo pass unnoticed.
He wants this defense to be a little more active when it comes to forcing turnovers and getting your hands on balls. Is that something?
Now, you should have seen his eyes when they asked about his D. There was heaps of weird traditions in American college football. I don't understand them all, but what happens to this winning coach of the Mayo Bowl is actually the grossest. That's mayonnaise. It's disgusting. Also, to make matters worse, he was then forced to roll over 100 tuna sandwiches. Disgusting. Finally, guys, spare a thought for this cheerleader who was in exactly the wrong spot for this kickoff.
Off Brandon Aubrey, kind of a weird, awkward kick, but watch what happens on the fly. Photographer leans for it, can't make the one-handed grab, and did you see the blonde hair? Look at this.
Brandon Aubrey again.
I know, and you know what? Our audience, very respectful, didn't laugh. One guy in the crowd did, though.
He's been flying around everywhere. Wow. We've got to go to a break. We'll be right back. Watching the project.
Let's get some more news now, and an incredible admission from tennis legend Novak Djokovic. He says he's still scarred by his deportation from Australia in 2022 over his COVID vaccination status, and even going through Aussie passport control triggers him. The decision sparked mass protests outside the hotel where Djokovic was detained, but Victoria's Premier doesn't think the state's reputation has been tarnished.
The responsibility of granting visas is a matter for the federal government, and those decisions were made by the federal government at the time. But COVID was tough for all of us. It didn't matter who you were, where you came from.
Whoa, and it's still a week until fans swarm the Australian Open in Melbourne. But in South Australia, the Adelaide International has kicked off, and the locals there, my God, they cannot wait to see their favourite stars in action.
And who are you excited to see today?
Anybody who's there.
Oh, you want to see when you get in there?
Yep.
I don't know. Who are you most excited to see when you get in there?
I have no idea.
Oh, who are you excited to get in there and see today?
Yep.
Well, Medvedev, but he's not playing.
These Adelaide, they're just keen to see some balls that are not those big ones in the ball.
Oh, yes. The rundle ball.
I didn't have to do that, by the way, but it added to it, didn't it?
It did. You painted the picture.
Exactly.
Can we say?
There's a visual.
To other news now. New South Wales police are investigating after a car parked in the eastern suburbs was spray painted with anti-Semitic graffiti. Images of the white vehicle have gone viral. It's understood the car was vandalised sometime yesterday. This incident comes after multiple properties at Wallara were sprayed with anti-Israel slogans in early December.
And while Albo's back on the job and trying to drum up support for Labor in Queensland, not all of our pollies are back at work just yet. Senator Pauline Hanson has been filmed having lunch with Australia's richest person, Gina Rinehart. It's understood the video was taken in Thailand. The pair was filmed deep in conversation on a restaurant balcony.
And it seems budgie smugglers are making a comeback after being voted one of the sexiest items of clothing that a man can wear in 2025. A survey that asked women what's hot for the year had a James Bond-style tuxedo in first place, a tailored suit in second, and a kilt in third. Speedos placed fourth. What? I mean, if you've got Daniel Craig modelling them coming out of the
Daniel
ocean.
Craig would look good in anything, right? What do you think about the budgie smugglers, Jo?
Well, look, it was number 4. Yeah. They had the tuxedo, they had the suit, they had the kilt, and then it's right down there. What else is there for men to wear?
That's kind of like every outfit,
That's
isn't
right,
it?
exactly. Except for the green bucket hat. Did anyone vote for that?
That got me.
You know what was on the
for
list?
sure.
Cardigans.
Oh, I
Cardigans
would
on
take
it.
a budgie smuggler over a cardigan.
Same.
No.
What do you mean?
Cardigan? Seth Cohen effect.
No.
Not an OC fan?
What
Oh my
if
God.
here's Seth Cohen in a cardigan but wearing Speedos?
Just Speedo.
Yeah, underneath. That's a strong
When they
look.
first debuted on Bondi Beach back in the 60s, the police were called because of public indecency.
Of the
They went,
Speedos.
no, you can't wear those. Because there used to be a time when, like, bikini and swimwear inspectors would come along with tape and measure how big your swimwear was.
How do I get that job?
Your
That's
swimwear,
a
I
dream
see.
gig right there. Joking, I don't want it. It's creepy.
Well, in other news, $1 billion blowout. The true cost, understated. The economic benefits, overstated. These are the findings from a damning report into Hobart's new AFL Stadium. So, can Tasmanians afford to foot the bill?
There is a widespread concern that the AFL has been bullying Tasmania, and I must say I came to the same conclusion.
The Tasmania Devils, the AFL's 19th team, set to take the field in 2028 after spending more than 30 years trying to break in.
This has been a hard fight.
But the AFL attached a condition to the Tassie team's hard-fought entry, a brand new waterfront stadium in Hobart to seat 23,000.
This is the biggest moment in Tasmanian football, guaranteed.
The state government insists the stadium will cost $775 million. The AFL chipping in $15 million, the federal government $240 million. The rest coming from private investment, with the state vowing its contribution is capped at $375 million.
$375 million is what we're committed to, and that's what I've said, not a red cent more.
But not everyone is buying what the AFL is selling.
What does Tassie want?
Tasmanians have had a bloody gutful over your stadium, and you can stick it up your bum.
A 19th club in Tasmania, for Tasmania, uniting Tasmania.
Personally, I think it's a lot of money.
To have it all come down to kicking a bag of wind around, I shake my head.
Now, another blow. A report from independent economist Nicholas Gruen, commissioned by the Tasmanian government as part of a deal with the Jackie Lambie network to secure power. It's found a likely construction cost blowout and a final price tag of more than $1 billion. The true bill to Tassie taxpayers, $785 million. That's $1,380 per Tasmanian.
For every dollar of cost, you get 44 cents of benefit.
The report also finding issues with the location.
There are sites that are not as expensive as that would be effective.
But the state government is insisting it's full steam ahead.
Mr. Gruen's report was commissioned on behalf of the Jackie Lambie network, which has always opposed the stadium, and is his opinion. The stadium stacks up.
The AFL should ask itself what I call the Spice Girls question, which is tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Well, we want to talk to Jackie Lambie. She's with us now. Jackie, it's good to see you. This report, it's pretty damning. What's your message to the AFL?
Damning? Damning? It's beyond damning. It's an absolute disgrace. I tell you what, when they first said this was going to put the costings out there, most Tasmanians just laughed and said, you've got to be kidding, right? And putting the stadium where it is and giving the RSL a guarantee it won't be in their line of sight, which has absolutely been called out. It is absolute rubbish, and Tasmanians can't afford it, I can tell you that much. It really blows me away. We have this great football park and it's at York Park. It's in Launceston. It is the centre of Tasmania. We should have the AFL Academy there, so everyone's got a 2-hour trip. That's it. But making us, from this side, go all the way down there and the expense overnight for those kids. A lot of these kids up here, especially this end, are never going to get the opportunity to be able to afford to go down and watch the Devils in the first place. So, quite frankly, the AFL, they can go and stick it fair where it fits. I'll say that right now. The Premier of Tasmania needs to get off his backside, mate, and he needs to go back to the table and say that deal that you threw at us, that was absolute rubbish. It is never a deal that's been done with any other state. They completely come in and over-asked. I actually think they came in as a joke and said there's no way the Tasmanian State Parliament will bite at this. So what's it do? The government bit straight at it. And we have been completely ripped off. And quite frankly, if the Premier doesn't want to go and sit at the table with those AFL kingpins, then I bloody will, because quite frankly, I want a much better deal done for the state of Tasmania. And I want to see roofs on people's heads down here, not roofs on a stadium.
So is that your alternative solution, Jackie? We play in Launceston. Like, what are you bringing to the table as a different scenario as opposed to the new stadium?
Yeah, that is my solution. We know that we're in an economic, we're not in a good economic situation down here over the next 10 years. So quite frankly, we're all used to going to York Park. Everybody's happy to drive a couple of hours. It's great for Launceston. The thing is too, if people get into Launceston, it may make them come down the west coast rather than going to Hobart or down the east coast. Right now, when they land in Hobart, they don't usually leave Hobart. They go to Hobart, they spend their money, they get on a plane, they go back. I just believe it's always been in Launceston. It's the third or fourth best AFL ground in the country. Voila, so much money saved right now, and we need that in Tasmania.
Well, Jackie, the government says the stadium and, in fact, the entire Mac Point urban renewal project will be a game changer. It's going to create jobs, boost the economy. Do you agree with that? Is that not a good thing?
I think if you see the report, I don't see that beaming out of it, baby. I can assure you that right now. I don't see those investors lining up at the front door, honestly. You know, it's like beat me up, Scotty stuff, this stuff. Honestly, it is a lovely pipe dream to have a great stadium. You know, we're not getting Taylor Swift concerts and that down here, guys. It's about 25,000 seats.
Jackie, my understanding is, though, that the franchise licence for the Devils is dependent on there being a new stadium. So if we scrap the stadium completely, are you willing to lose the team?
You know what? That comes down to the bullies of the AFL, whether those men are going to back it off and take some of those conditions off the table. And that's all it comes down to. Some city-slicking, white-shirted men that are deciding what's best for Tasmania, what's not best for bloody Tasmania. So go back to the drawing board. We want our team and we want something, a cheaper option on the... That's what we want and that's what Tasmania needs.
Have you heard from Andrew Dillon, Jackie, the CEO of the AFL?
No, mate, no, I haven't, unfortunately. I thought maybe I'd get a lunch date. Seriously, if the Premier can't go to the table and put his big boy pants on and get some of those conditions lifted so it's economically more stable and beneficial for Tasmania, then quite frankly, he probably shouldn't be Premier.
Well, Jackie, the AFL often get what they want. They're very powerful, as you've highlighted just there. If Tasmania does get a team and the new stadium is built...
Yeah, but mate, honestly... I have to be honest with you.
Yes.
I don't give a stuff how powerful they are. You're talking to Jackie Lambie here. She don't give a shit. OK, I don't care. My job is to see what's best for the nation and best for the country. That's my job. So I don't care.
Jackie,
go and put your big shirts on and come and take Jackie Lambie across the table.
I am not building the stadium. It's not me. I need you to know that.
For the state of Tasmania. That's right. Get me at the table with them, big boy.
So, Jackie, if it does get built, will you boycott the stadium?
If it gets built, I doubt very much the way this state government's going, even if it was to be built, it'd be built in my lifetime, big boy, to be honest with you. It's a bloody disaster.
Thank you for calling me big boy.
Yeah, calm down. Put the ego back in the paper bag. Calm down.
It's too much to contain, Jackie. It's too much. Yeah, Jackie, you've made Sam's night, his life.
Made my 2025.
Thanks for chatting.
He wouldn't be the first bloke. He wouldn't be the first bloke I've made bloke. Thanks, guys. Good on you.
Oh, boy.
Are you terrified or turned on?
Look, that's the crossover, Sarah, let me tell you. Wow. OK, let's stay on sport.
Big boy.
All right, guys. I've got to be professional here. Let's stay on sport. 400 ball kids, they're preparing to take to the court at the Australian Open. I love the ball kids. It's very exciting. It's daunting for them, but luckily, this first time, I got some great advice.
Oh. This is your first Australian Open, but your sisters have done this before. What have they told you about it?
Oh, it's hard and it's hot.
Oh.
Yeah. And you get free food.
Oh. Hard, hot and free food. Hey, kids, stop stealing my pickup line. Sorry, I'm going to call Jackie Lambie. I'll see you later. I gotta go.
We're going to take a break. We're going to go.
This is The Project. Welcome back.
Now, a Melbourne woman has chased a male intruder from her home, all while confronting him on camera. Just home from overseas, Flora Socrates was woken by the man's footsteps. She managed to film the incident, which she says has left her in shock.
How did you get into my home?
Whoa. Oh, my God.
How did you get... What's in your bag? What's in your bag?
She is gutsy, huh?
She went for the intruder.
Oh, my God. What would you do in a similar circumstance?
I would call Jackie Lambie. She got me back at any moment.
She does.
Now, it's horrible, guys, to have an intruder in your house. I saw that today. And as you can imagine, right, the last thing that lady needed was to hear another suspicious noise.
While I was on the phone with my brother, and I said to my brother, oh, my God, I think he's back. And I was just watching from the front window. When I realised it was a female, the neighbour across the road thought she could, hop into my backyard, help herself to lemons without even knocking on my door.
I mean, bad timing, but I can't think of anything better after a scare than a glass of homemade lemonade. So, perfect.
Calm the nerves.
Exactly, exactly.
For the tequila, Sam. And an American tech company chief executive has been left shaken up after his self-driving Tesla ended up on some train tracks. Jesse Liu shared his dash cam footage, which shows the train approaching the car from behind. He quickly turned off the autopilot, then ran a red light to get off the tracks.
Whoa.
Could you do a driverless car, Jo?
No,
For
I
this
don't trust
reason?
them. I do not trust them.
No.
Because this is not the first time this has happened. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's got attention because he is a tech startup CEO. And it's a bit like, the technology's come to get you because he created
Can't
it.
they be hacked as well, these Tesla cars, from outsiders?
Really? Oh, my God, this is like a conversation at 1 a.m. in a pub about being... And also, they go... But can I say one thing? I was watching this today and I was like, this is scary. I would still rather get in that self-driving car than get in a car driven by Georgie Tony.
I was. Thank you, audience, for being on my side. That was lovely of you, but I was staying a little bit quiet there because I was like, yes, no into a self-driving car. Sign me
You're in?
up. I would love a self-driving car. Yeah. There might be a few little speed bumps.
Like a train?
Yeah, trains.
Or even a self-parking car.
Yeah,
Oh, that
they
would be
kind
good.
of exist.
That already happens, I think.
Yeah, some of those exist. But I would 100% do this. Think of all the time that you would have.
What are you going to do? Sit there reading a book?
I mean, I get...
If you're a good driver, you can already do that.
Now, no modern holiday would be complete without the perfect social media post, but finding that Insta-famous destination is not just destroying our top holiday spots, but it's also costing lives.
Posts like these encourage tourists to find secluded, untouched holiday spots. And that's getting some into serious trouble. Over the weekend, Victoria's tourism agency forced to delete an Instagram post encouraging followers to head to a pristine swimming spot, actually recommended for experienced surfers only, where a man drowned just last year.
Now we can actually see video and we can see images that prompt us to make decisions to go to places we would have never have thought of. It can be really dangerous. We've seen people going to beaches, not able to swim.
Victorian lifeguards alone rescuing 167 people over the weekend.
We're finding a trend that people are wanting to go to more remote places, but the safest place to swim is between the red and yellow flags.
But it's not just lives at risk. The search for the ultimate travel destination is now turning many places from paradise to a living hell. This is Kyoto's historic Sananzaka Street on Instagram. And this is the reality, with many locals complaining the area is now completely overrun amid Japan's estimated record 35 million visitors last year.
It can make local people feel like they're getting crowded out of their own places. They can't get to their shops easily. The cost of housing increases.
And just today, warnings TikTok is now putting pressure on the world's last untouched wilderness Antarctica.
I am now spending 10 days in Antarctica.
I don't think I'll ever see anything this incredible ever again. There's just a bunch of seals and penguins hanging around.
2 decades ago, fewer than 20,000 people made the long trek down to the empty continent. In the year just been, that number surged to 124,000. Experts warning the trend is leading to the degradation of one of the Earth's most fragile environments.
Some of the behaviours that we're seeing on platforms like TikTok with, say, 64 million likes are not actually allowed by the regulations that are set for tourism in Antarctica.
So, is it time to pull the plug on our social media travel obsession to protect both the environment and ourselves?
Wow. So I know a lot of my friends have been planning their holidays via TikTok. But my husband actually, recently I said, you are going to plan the first holiday in our 25-year marriage. And he planned a trip to Vietnam using ChatGPT.
He chatted it.
Wait, what? So the prompt is you say, act as a travel agent planning a trip to Vietnam for a family of 3. And it was spot on. It was amazing. Well, there was a time where we were walking around Ho Chi Minh and we were lost and I said, I'm so hungry, do something. So he's gone to Chatty G, we call her, act as a hungry, angry wife in Ho Chi Minh. And they came back with, go to this place, we will fill her belly with food that will knock her sandals off.
Were you wearing sandals?
I was wearing sandals.
The machines have won.
Honestly, if you were going to Antarctica, you'd want to throw a post on the grid, wouldn't you?
Of course.
Like, you would not deal with minus 80-degree temperatures for nothing.
That's triple digits.
Things have to be capped, though, right? Like last year I was in Europe and when I was in Venice...
You never talk about it.
I never talk about it. I never talk about it. It wasn't my personality for a good 6 months of the year. But when we were in Venice, like, I heard more Australian accents than I heard Italian accents.
And it travels.
And then it becomes like a theme park. You can't get in anywhere.
Yeah. Well, where I grew up, in a beautiful part of the country, down south coast of New South Wales, Jervis Bay, Hymes Beach is there.
Oh, I love that.
Famously whitest sand in the world. They claim it's very white. Because of people going down and taking their photos and putting them on the grid, it is so packed now. I tried to go for a swim there the other day. They've blocked it off. There's security guards there. It's like one in, one out to get into this little town.
So they're not letting anyone in, or just
no? You can get in, but you've kind of got to wait. You can, or me, yeah. But that's there's like
it was banned from the Nowra pub.
No, there's a government whole court case about that going on. It's fine, but it's a real problem. I realise also talking about it on national TV is probably going to make it worse.
I know. Now there's even more people coming to Hymes Beach. I see it. We've got to take a break, but we'll be right back.
Ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes at the project? Be part of our live studio audience to see all the magic, the superstar guests.
I'm so happy to be here.
And you could even find yourself on the telly. For tickets to either our Melbourne or Sydney studio, go to theprojectaudience.com.au.
Hey, you're watching The Project. Welcome back.
Hey, our next guest is a legend of Australian comedy.
On the roof of this building where we lived when we were children, you could see the pyramids and the Sphinx clearly on any day. That's the honest-to-God truth, right? So when we came to Australia and my parents took us to see the big banana in Coffs Harbour, it was just different.
Please welcome Akmal!
Thank you for having me.
What's wrong with the big banana?
No, I love the big banana. It's just different to the pyramids, that's all. I was just pointing out it's a different thing. I shouldn't have even made that comparison. I have my photo with the big banana.
Yeah?
Yeah, we go way back. And the big merino.
Oh, it's a good one.
Have you know the big merino?
I'm across
That's my favourite.
Really?
It's a big, gigantic sheep in Goulburn, and there's a restaurant inside the sheep, and the only way to enter the sheep is via the anus.
Great.
I don't know what they're serving, but I'm not hungry. That's true, though, man. It's gigantic. It's really impressive, very impressive. Similar to the pyramids. But
Similar. Now, Akmal, it's very exciting to have you here. You're a comedy legend. You've been doing stand-up for such a long time.
I am.
I always wonder this.
I am.
It's true. Do you ever get, because I always wonder when I talk to comedians, do you ever get recognised? Do people stop you on the street?
You'd be surprised. Like, I always thought one of the advantages of looking like me is that it's always going to be me, but people are getting dumber.
Okay.
Man, I get recognised a lot, but as other people, or people think that I'm someone else.
Oh, nice.
You may not actually believe this story, but it's absolutely true. Recently, I was on one of those morning shows, you know, Yeah, I don't know what it was called. The Today Show, maybe?
Hypothetically, yeah.
I think it was a Today Show, but one of the regular guests, I won't mention his name, but it could have been Richard Wilkins, the entertainment reporter.
Yes.
I swear, I'm still in shock. He comes up to me and goes, "Oh, mate, I'm a huge fan of yours. I've been following your career for a long time." I said, "Thank you, Richard." He goes, "Yeah, I love that show you do on TV." I said, "What show?" Because you know where you paint celebrities and you interview them?
No,
that's Ando. We're not even the same race. I mean, he might as well have come up to me and said, "Hi, are you Kitty Flanagan?" I would have said, "Yes, I'm Kitty Flanagan. I've let myself go. I've been taking hormone tablets."
So he got you to mix...
Yeah.
That's right, yeah, of course.
Only a mother could tell you apart.
Yeah, Richard, I think a plastic surgery's hurting his hair.
Did you ever tell him that you weren't Ando?
I didn't want to disappoint him. I said, "Yeah, no, it's good. I'll have you on the show next."
To paint him?
And I made an appointment and he showed up and he got escorted out. I made that up.
So you're touring your new show across the country, and I always think you guys, all performers, you travel so much. Does the flying...
You travel a lot as well.
Does that flying wear you down?
No, it doesn't. I actually enjoy it because you get privileges. The more you travel, the more you get... I get privileges that I don't really want or need. Like... I don't know, did you always get the emergency exit row?
Oh, yeah. Well, they don't trust me, but like a year ago...
No, I always get the emergency exit row because you get more leg room. Now, I don't need leg room. I don't have legs. In fact, people might find this hard to believe. I'm actually standing right now. It's just... I'm just amazed at how much trust they put in me, because you have to, in case there's an emergency, the emergency exit row, they tell you what to do. Now, I've heard these instructions hundreds of times. I still have no idea what they are, because I have this thing called attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I know everyone's got it now, but I was the first. I gave it to everyone. It wasn't called that. When I was at school, it wasn't called ADHD, it was called idiot. And so they tell you, guys, so are you aware that you seated today in an emergency exit row? I say, yes. Are you enjoying the leg room? Yes, I am. They say, now, are you willing and able to help us in case of an emergency? And I say, yeah, of course. I don't want to look like a coward. And then they start talking, and this is what I hear. Any questions? I say no. And I don't feel guilty because I rationalise it. I think, look, statistically we're going to land.
Yeah.
Right? The chances are we're going to land. And if we crash and die, they're not going to blame me. No. They're going to say, I was discovered the cause of the crash was due to Akmal not paying attention. I don't think so. So I don't worry about it. But it's amazing how many times you can hear one thing and still not absorb it. It's like school.
I'm with you. Tickets to see Akmal on his nationwide tour are on sale now. All of the information is on our website. Make sure you get them. Would you please thank Akmal? And if you're playing,